Happy April. I'm Evie. If you're new here, owner and creative director of Evielutions Design, where we help businesses with web development, graphic, and printing. Every industry has unique lingo and specific terms that are important to know to navigate that field effectively. And of course, when I'm speaking with clients, I try my best to speak in layman's terms, but there are terms that a client needs to know in order to be well educated about the process. So today I'm going to review with you 14 design terms and definitions that absolutely must be in your vocabulary, whether you are aiming to communicate more effectively to your web designer or you're seeking to become a web designer professionally. As usual, let's jump right into it. Okay, first term, accessibility. This term is about a website's ability to be utilized by all people, including those with disabilities like visual or hearing impairments. When a website has low accessibility, this means that it would be difficult or impossible for people with disabilities to use it. So accessibility is a critical element for design. Term number 2. Browser. A browser refers to the software a website visitor is using to access the internet. Some browser programs that I'm sure you've heard of include, Internet Explorer, which is like a Windows program, Firefox, Google Chrome, Safari, and Opera. And so sometimes coding errors can result in issues on one browser but not another. So it's really important to test your website across all browsers. Term number 3, hypertext markup language, aka HTML. I know you guys have all heard of that. So this is the primary language of code used by developers to communicate to your web browser how to respond to certain content. HTML is usually used to provide content on websites, and CSS, which is another coding language. They're both used to provide the layout and stylistic options. However, HTML can be used by itself to determine how content is displayed. The next term is cascading style sheets, also known as CSS. This is a language of code used by developers to manage how your web page should be presented to your audience. In other words, CSS manages the look and feel of a website. So in CSS, you usually manage like your fonts, colors, images, menus, and more. JavaScript. It is not to be confused with Java programming language, but it is a scripting language that allows for more complex, interesting interactions on a web page. So for example, when filling out a form, JavaScript is what enables a pop-up box to appear to inform you that you have forgotten to complete a box. And it can also be used to load new content without reloading the entire page. And display interactive maps and so much more. Next term, content management system, aka CMS. And so this is a computer application or a database that creates, edits, and manages digital content. The benefit of CMS is that it is meant to simplify the process of publishing website content by eliminating the need to be fluent in a particular coding language. So for example, we build websites in WordPress. It helps with all of that. It is a CMS, a content management system. Instead, a CMS allows you to input and edit text and images in a more user-friendly manner. The next term is user experience, aka UX. This term basically describes experience of an individual when interacting with the business and its offerings. UX is an important component of web design. So for example, accessibility, which we talked about a minute ago, can make or break the user experience. Consistently negative user experiences on a website might also result in a high bounce rate, whereas positive user experience may lead to a higher conversion rate. And so user experience can also be used to assess whether a product is well designed. So for example, remote control that is confusing to use might result in a poor user experience because the user was unable to turn on the television. That's a quick little example of that. Next term, navigation. So this is meant to capture all the elements of a website that directs the user throughout the site. So for example, the navigation tool may be like a menu bar at the side of a website, but it can also include links at the bottom of a page. So it's basically any links that allow a website visitor to move from one page to another can also be considered aspects of navigation. And so you're going to want smooth and intuitive navigation because that's going to contribute to a positive user experience. Next, we have web content. And this includes any content that is textual, visual, or oral. We talked about that. So on a website, web content can include a wide variety of elements, including but not limited to blog posts, downloadable PDFs, YouTube videos, and images. Next, we have web copy. And this is text on your website that imparts meaningful information for the visitor, like, your about page, product taglines, and more. And we talked about web copy a few weeks ago, so be sure to go check that video out if you missed it. Next, we have search engine optimization, or also known as SEO. And this is the process or strategy of increasing the visibility of your site in relevant search engines. Basically, well done SEO should boost your website to the top of search engine results to attract potential and existing customers to your website. And there are many SEO factors that contribute to an optimization strategy, and search engines periodically adjust their search algorithms to provide users with an optimal search experience. So for example, if I type in Fiji water into a search engine, SEO impacts whether my top results are websites about the quality of the water in or around Fiji, or direct me to the website for the popular bottled water company. Next term, call to action, aka CTA. So this is an encouragement or directive that prompts your audience to commit to an action. So an example of that could be a call to action can ask people to sign an online petition to support an initiative. And it might also look like encouraging people to take advantage of a limited time offer or even just download a PDF guide. The next term is conversion, or also can be referred to as conversion rate. And this is the ratio of visitors fulfilling your specific desired action to the total number of visitors. So the goal of your business is to sell a product from your website. Then the conversion rate will reflect the number of people who purchased the product to the total number of people that actually went to your website. Our next term is bounce rate. And this is the ratio of people who land on your website and immediately exit. They just left, to the total number of visitors to your website. And so we addressed bounce rate and how to improve it a few weeks ago. I will link to that video above. All right, guys, so there you have it. 14 new terms to simmer on. And now you're well versed in web design terms, and you're ready to communicate with that web developer or take your business to the next level if this is something that you're interested in. So as usual, tune in every Monday, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.